This episode is all about the state of branding and its importance today.
Hi, this is Russell Brunson, and you're listening to the Marketing Megamix with Mark Imperial.
Hi, this is Dan Kennedy, and you're listening to the Marketing Megamix with Mark Imperial.
This is the ActionBrand Marketing Megamix, where you'll discover how to grow your business and turn that business into a powerhouse brand that everybody loves. It's time for action. Here's Mark Imperial.
Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. Joining me on this segment is Barak Granot. He's the founder of Metrics Promotions. Barak's an award-winning marketing strategist and best-selling author, and he's worked with folks like Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, NBA legend Magic Johnson, and success coach Jim Britt, who's the mentor to Tony Robbins. So, Barak, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark. It's a pleasure.
Barak, tell us a little bit about your work, and specifically, who are the types of folks that you specialize in working with?
Well, I have several companies that are falling under Metrics Promotions. For a very long time, for over 15 years, I've been working with dentists, and the way I work with dentists is just a little bit different than the rest of the marketing agencies. I have a unique twist, you can say, in what I do. I have developed a method called predictable patients technology. That the way that it works better is because I do the branding and the positioning while the marketing is going on. You see, most marketing agencies are just doing that, marketing, but they're missing a bottom layer of positioning, of building an authority for the dentist, and therefore the success is a little bit trimmed because of that. So this is just one side that I apply building authority, but I also work with others building their authority directly. I have a book publishing company, and I have other services that I can do for people to build their brand.
So, Barak, what inspired me to ask you on the program was we ran into each other, even though we've known each other for many years, saw you in real life in Orlando at the AI Bot Summit. And you said something really interesting as you were expressing like the challenges with marketing today, marketing specifically without branding. And you said something to me. You said, you know what? They need to work on their branding. So with that said, Barak, tell me what you meant by that, and maybe start with telling me what the big challenge is today and what caused you to really mention that they need to work on that. What was the problem in that field?
Interesting that you asked that. Actually, it's not something that I realized just now. About 9 years ago, I came up with my book was published. The book is called Attract Better Patients: How to Position Yourself as the Go-To Dentist for Higher Value Cases. That's the full title. Attract Better Patients: How to Position Yourself as the Go-To Dentist for Higher Value Cases. And the reason I came up with that, a couple of years before that, I realized that when I'm marketing someone, I'm building him a nice website, I do promotion, but if he looks like any other dentist, then he's just the patients may feel that this is just another dentist trying to sell them stuff. So I realized that in order to make the dentist more successful, he needs to be more an authority. His positioning should be that patients would feel that no matter the money, this is the best option for them. You see, everybody wants the best deal, but some people want the best deal in terms of money because they don't value the quality. And some people are willing to pay more because they're getting more. They're getting better deal because the quality is better. And I've found out at that time, and again, I'm working with dentists for over 15 years, and what I'm saying now about dentists is applicable to any other field. Sometimes the numbers are a little bit different, but it's the same concept. And here's what I've realized. I've realized that there are two types of patients, and that's covered in my book that I mentioned. Two types of patients. One group are looking for the cheapest price, the best deal in terms of pricing. They will not be loyal to the dentist or to the office. If the dentist across the street has a promotion, they might switch. They think that the dentist is just there to take their money and stuff like that. They are basically hassle a lot for the dentist because they're not following directions. They don't trust the dentist and so on. Now, this is one group. The second group is people who appreciate quality, are willing to pay for that. They're willing to wait a little bit more if there is no appointment available. They will listen to the doctor's recommendations, invest in their own oral health, and so on. Now, with dentistry is about 50% in each group. But the second group is spending 3 times as much compared to the first one per year. That's by actual numbers. So the problem is that if you are marketing to one group, you deter the other one. The other one shy away from you. If you want to attract the ones that are the first group that are looking for the best price, you can build a nice profitable practice, but then you won't get those other people. If you are marketing to those, you won't get those. That's how it works. So the way to market to basically to get those better patients, or if you're doing something else, better client, is to be the authority, is to be in their mind, to be the best, or to be the better in quality, so that they will get a better deal. Now, you cannot say that, like, even if you're a plumber, you cannot say, hey, I'm the best plumber. Like, hey, who said that? You see what I mean? Like, you have to have somebody else say that about you. With dentistry, they are not allowed even to claim something like that. So it depends on the field. But here's the point. When you are positioned as the authority, you're going to attract people that will travel farther, will be willing to spend more, will be a little bit more patient if you are booked, and so on. And that's something that I've been implementing for over a decade. And I think that a lot of people are missing the point.
I think
Does
you
that make
brought yeah, I think you brought this up to me originally because you sensed the mindset and correct me if I'm wrong, but is the mindset of the average dentist, are they just like other fields where they're just like, give me the leads? So they're focusing more on like SEO, lead generation, and typical direct response advertising versus branding? What's their mindset?
Well, it has changed. Actually, it has changed after COVID. So for a long time, dentists did invest in building their field. Having a good website, SEO, reputation was important. Not everybody knew how to do that. Like they didn't think about that in terms of becoming perceived as the authority. They were more looking to get like leads through SEO and stuff like that. Having a nice website was important. Then few things happened. One of them was that in COVID, a lot of things that were built were slowed down because they had to close the gates. And later, when they opened it up, a lot of companies came up with new technology that have been released. You can build a landing page and you can start having Facebook ads going to basically a CRM system and being worked on, qualified, and sent. And a lot of dentists thought, okay, well, that's the end result. Let's do that. I don't even need to work on my website because then the patients will not see that. I don't need to work on my reputation. I don't need to work on my branding because I'm going to get leads and it's on that company that to send the leads to me. What happened because of that is that became a commodity. And that's basically if you have one takeaway, basically, is when you're not working on becoming an authority in your field, then you're basically being compared on other metrics that the patient or clients don't know how to evaluate. So they evaluate by price. And then it becomes like, well, in case of dentists, a crown is a crown. How much do you charge? Oh, you charge 1,800? Well, the dentist across the street charges 1,400. I'll go to him. But they don't consider all the other things that they don't see, like the materials, like the expertise, like the time invested in learning the craft, so it will be more beneficial, basically, eventually to the patient. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And now, like, can you give me a 10,000 foot view of what this looks like branding for a dentist or any business? Give me a 10,000 foot view of what that should look like.
No problem. There are several components, and that depends on what you do. And I mean, it works for dentists, it works for others. People will check you out. You need to have good presence. You need to have, let's say, your website needs to be up to date. It needs to look good, and it needs to communicate information that is, directly speaking what the clients or patients, whatever it is, have already going on in their mind, so that they will feel that you know your stuff and you can formulate their problem better than what they can formulate it. Then you become the authority. That's one thing. But there are a lot of others. There is what I call trust triggers. So when you don't have any way to tell, there are certain things that can communicate when something is good. Look, we've been trained, for example, if we are looking for a movie, for example, we're looking at Netflix, you have star rating. You look at Amazon, you have star ratings and reviews and stuff like that. Some things look nicer because they have different packaging. Some items or services have endorsements from people that you trust. All those things are called trust triggers. They trigger trust with people, and sometimes it goes unobserved by those audience. They don't even think about that. Oh yeah, that packaging looks a lot more impressive than this packaging, if you're talking about a product. Or that website had this, that professional has been featured in the news, and he has all those logos of, that he has been featured in the news, and that person is not. They're not really thinking of that, but those things are being recorded without being observed, and that has been researched, and you can read about that from Dr. Robert Cialdini in Persuasion, his book Persuasion. He's talking about that. His previous book, Influence, also talks about authority, about social proof, and so on. So building authority can be divided for different things. And like I said, it can be speaking on media. It can be, like appearance on newspapers, or even online newspapers that are branded correctly. It can be publishing a book and becoming a best-selling author. It can be working with celebrities or people that people will value in that field. Sorry for that.
Barak,
Um,
what inspired you to get into this field, specifically working with dentists? How did you get started?
oh, with dentists, I started because when I was doing SEO, and at that time, that was before Facebook was really a thing. You couldn't have Facebook. Facebook ads were not invented yet, and so on. It was basically websites and SEO. And I was invited to speak in a dental conference, in Orange County, Orange County Dental Association. And that talk was very successful, and I had a lot of reach from dentists. Um, I think about 10 dentists signed up with me that night, and therefore I started working with dentists. Now, few years later, I started seeing that SEO didn't work anymore for me, and I wasn't sure why. I had a client, actually a client from Orange County. He was number one everywhere in a lot of terms, but his phone calls declined. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. You're there. And then I realized I didn't do his website. He was doing it with a company that was that was doing website for a lot of dentists. I won't mention the name because it doesn't make a difference. But his website was generic. It was like a cookie cutter. And then I realized that he doesn't look better than any other dentist, and some dentists look even more impressive than him. So it's not about if he does good work or not. And this is another concept that some people have. It's like, if I'll do a good job, then I'll be successful. It doesn't go like that. You have to do a good job. I'm not advocating anything else, but that's not enough. You have to do a good job and make it known to people also. And that's the branding and that's the marketing. Public relations is actually making good things known. That's how I define it. And marketing, I define is, I actually go by Peter Drucker's definition of the objective of marketing is to make sale superfluous, to make sale unnecessary. So if you do that, then your good work makes sense. But I've seen, for example, in dentistry, I've seen a lot of dentists that are not the best, but they're very good business people and they're very good marketers. And those are the ones that are succeeding.
Here's a really big takeaway from what you just said. If your branding and positioning are no good, and I think a lot of people get that mixed up because if they think, what do you mean my positioning? I'm number one on Google. But if the branding and the positioning is no good, then all the best marketing, advertising, and SEO only speeds up the rate at which the world sees that you're no good if the branding and positioning aren't right. So, Barak, before I ask you my last question,
But I want to say something before that, Mark. Sorry.
yeah,
It's not necessarily that you're not good, but you're losing the opportunity. I'll give you an example. And that example is from dentistry. When I needed a couple of implants to have done, and I chose to go to a dentist that is like 2, 3 cities away and charges maybe 40% more just because he was the expert in the area. So I basically gave him my business because I knew that I cannot fail with that, if that makes sense. Now it doesn't mean that other dentists are necessarily bad, but I preferred working with someone that in my opinion can guarantee results. And so that's basically what it is. When you are positioned as the best, when you are positioned as the authority, then you are not compared just by price. So your stuff otherwise becomes a commodity. That's basically what I think that we should tweak. That the takeaway is like, if you want to stand out from the crowd, if you want to stand head and shoulder from the competitors, just do that not with price or something like that, and not with things that don't matter. Do that with the authority. Do that with the branding. So the perception will be that you are better. And I'm saying the perception is because people cannot know. I'm not saying deceive people, but the point is that if you do not know how to communicate that, and that's by building authority, then people will not know and just compare you by price.
I appreciate that clarification because, to be clear, if I was being lackadaisical about my words, it's the appearance of being good or bad rather than what the true ability is. Because at the end of the day, you said it, the key word is perception, and in the world, perception is reality. So it's really about, and I always say when it comes to branding, we don't own our brand. We can only sort of craft a desired perception in the world, but your brand is owned in the mind of your audience. So it's all about that perception. Barak, before I ask you my last question, is there anything I didn't think to ask you that you feel is important to share to wrap up?
No, I started saying about the authority triggers and so on. Reputation is very important these days. And basically everything that you do that is dealing with your clients or patients falls under that. You have to be professional in everything, even if it's the phone calls being answered and again, everything else. That means that, just to clarify, I'm not saying that if you don't do a good job, you cannot put lipstick on a pig and make it, I'm Jewish, so it's still not kosher, right? So, but if you're not doing a good job, that will basically be revealed. So I'm not advocating any mediocre delivery. However, I've seen too many good people, good professionals that don't know to communicate it and watch other people thrive while they are struggling.
Barak, for dentists and professionals listening now that would like to get a hold of you, how do they find you?
Well, you can go to barakgranot.com and reach out to me from there. I do have different companies. With dentists, I work with a company called Dentometrics that I founded. But you can reach out to me from barakgranot.com and I can help you out. Can schedule a call with me on barak.info.
Terrific. Barak, this has been great. I really appreciate you taking the time and having this conversation with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial. Thanks for joining me, and right now it's time for action. See you next time.